Devils Thursday. This is the Woo Report, episode 122. It's finally happened. I can't believe it. Alexander Holtz has been recalled from the Utica Comets, joining the New Jersey Devils, who are in the midst of a West Coast road trip. I'm your host, Sam Wu, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Some latest Devils news. Alexander Holtz has been recalled from the Utica Comets and has joined the New Jersey Devils out on their West Coast trip. Mike Ruff in the Facebook Live says hopefully this is the last time he gets recalled in his career after a really hot start with Utica. Was it 5 goals in 4 games or something like that? A scoring machine, a sniper, 7th overall pick in the 2020 draft. He's proven himself so far in his young professional career that he belongs with the New Jersey Devils. But you know what? John Jordan says, don't put him on the 4th line. And that was one of my concerns yesterday, and I told Nick Villano that on the State of the Fan address presented by pucksandpitchforks.com, that Alexander Holtz is not going to solve the Devils' biggest problem, the penalty kill. He's simply not. The Devils need to fix that immediately. Yes, he could probably help the Devils weather the storm as they are struggling on the PK. Yes, he will add some excitement. Yes, he will add some scoring. But if you're going to bring him up, I would hope he would be in the top 6 on the first 2 lines, because I want Alexander Holtz to not just sit there and only play 6 minutes. I expect him to play big-time minutes for the New Jersey Devils. Getty27 on the YouTube Live, guess being shut out showed we need to up the firepower. Let's go, Holtz. What about you, Facebook Live? Let's go, Holtz? I think so. But like what John Jordan said in the Facebook Live, don't put him on the 4th line. YouTube Live, get Quokinen out of there. NY Davey says, well, if they're not performing and there are other players that will produce results, I kind of agree with you there. But also, I won't write these players off like Quokinen or Sharon Govich. Takes time. Takes time. Do we play tonight? Says Herping Wrestler. No, Friday night. Friday night against LA at the Staples Center. Bald D. Gia. Hey, new Devils fan here from Northern Ireland. Well, Bald, welcome to the Devils family. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Woo Report. I'm your host, Sam Wu. And also, if you didn't know, this is the Let's Go Devils podcast. I was just trying to do something. Anyway, I screwed that one up. Also in the news, as per Amanda Stein, the esteemed reporter for the New Jersey Devils, she says that Scott Wedgewood has been claimed off of waivers, which Nick Villano didn't think that he would be, but by who? The Arizona Coyotes. Are they that desperate? The Arizona Coyotes have picked up off of waivers, Scott Wedgewood, which tells me Mackenzie Blackwood is back in the mix. He's not going to have any issues right now of compliance. He's back in the swing of things. That is good. Everyone's asking, what's the update on the Dougie Hamilton? Dougie Hamilton. And I will complain about this and complain about this and complain about this. This is how the news cycle works. The team knows, and it goes straight to Amanda Stein and Chris Westcott and all them before any of us finds out what's going on. Everything is secretive, like Miles Wood, or what's going on with Jack Hughes, which he'll be out for a while. Bald asks, how long have I been a fan? I've been a fan for a very, very long time. Since I was 8 years old, going back in the 80s. Mike Rossi said, I'm glad Wedgewood got claimed. He's way too inconsistent. Look, Scott Wedgewood, he did what he was told. He played the best of his abilities. We thank you for your service. But it's Mac Black and Jonathan Bernier right now. With Nico Dawes, with the Utica Comets. But again, thank you, Scott Wedgewood, especially last year. NY Davey can't stand the lack of transparency with injuries in the NHL. Ridiculous. No other league behaves this way. Yes, like the infamous upper body injury, lower body injury. And you know what? There should be some vindication here for Lou Lamoriello, who was the longtime GM of the New Jersey Devils. Hey, the same thing's happening here. Yeah, they're maybe a little friendly to the press, but all the information comes from a couple people, done by design. Once they figure out what the information is, they take their time, they edit their videos, they get their tweets all lined up, and then they put it out there. And, and also the other thing, too, it's like all the hockey buzzers, if you go to my blog on hockeybuzz.com, they expect me to have all the information. Now, I am in a true belief. First off, I don't claim to be an insider. Do I have inside information? Sometimes. Sometimes it passes through me. But I respect the process, and I respect journalism integrity, where trust but verify. Not the first to put it out there, but first to get it right. Which is why I try to stay away from rumors. That's why I try to stay away from speculation, because that's just not my thing. Some people love it. Some people like to gossip, talk like old hens, and talk about trades that will never happen. I'm all about ideas. I'm all about talking puck, talking hockey. But when it comes to rumors, all that kind of stuff, I try to stay away from. And the reason why, there are certain reporters who are credible. They do their jobs right. They have the resources to do it. They have the sources, real sources. Let them have their fun. Let them do their jobs because they are professional and great at it. Me, I'm just a Devils fan. I blog, I podcast, I talk to fans. NY Davey asks, when did you start going to Devils games? Probably when I was, 8 years old, 9 years old. Back in those days, it was called Brendan Byrne Arena, the Meadowlands. Convincing my dad to drive me, pester him. But, you know the traffic on Route 3, right? It's like crazy. Remember the death merge where you only had 150 yards to merge from one lane over to another, and you got 4 lanes just to get to that 16W? Remember those days? Ah, those days. Of the old Meadowlands, Brendan Byrne Arena, Continental Airlines Arena, and 3 Stanley Cups. 1984, says NY Davey. Hey, we love those fans. Love the fans. All right, so YouTube Live, Mike Ruff, that is true. That's what Mike Ruff says. Who would you take out of the lineup for Holtz? Good question. Good question. I'm all about accountability. Rocco, he says hello in the YouTube Live. Rocco, love the Giants too. They're not doing well, but the New York Football Giants, one of my favorite teams. Anyway, who would you take out of the lineup? Look, I'm all about accountability. I'm all about putting players on notice, not because you're mean, not because you're a bully, but Lindy Ruff is old school coach. I love accountability. You know why? Because it brings the best out of everyone. As long as you hold them accountable and you've got the best intentions for the whole organization as a whole, I'm all about it. But the question is, who would you take out of the lineup for Alexander Holtz? I want Alexander Holtz to play big minutes, even if it means possibly taking out Sharon Govich, maybe Kuokkanen. I'm not writing them off, but sending a message doesn't hurt either. It works for Jesper Bratt. I mean, heck, you bench the guy, suddenly he becomes superhuman, and he becomes a very productive NHL player. Accountability leads to consistency, leads to success. And when you got a talent like Alexander Holtz, again, I don't think he's not gonna help the penalty kill. But you never know. Some players, I'm not saying Alexander Holtz is one of these players, but there's such few players out there where just their mere presence in the lineup makes everybody play better. And those are impact players. Some players have that magic touch where they're on your team and somehow they're playing better. The defense plays better. The goalie is making better saves. Even the equipment manager gets the water bottle out a lot quicker just because of that one person. But I do think that one person is Dawson Mercer. Tatar, would you take Tatar out? No, I wouldn't do that just yet. Andre Janssen, I'll tell you, you don't take him out. Guy's been on fire. Surprised the heck out of all of us. I thought he was the next Nikita Gusev, but he has definitely found his way to my heart. Andre Johnson, as we sometimes call him on the Let's Go Devils podcast Sunday edition, formerly the Houston Texans wide receiver. Hey, we have a little fun on the Let's Go Devils podcast. Andre Johnson, also known as Andres Johnson, as he takes the puck, shoots, touchdown Devils! Anyway, thought I add that. Add a little humor there on your afternoon drive home as we drop the podcast 20 minutes after we stop the recording. What are your thoughts? Alexander Holtz now with the New Jersey Devils. Hey, how about this? Mike Ruff, Mercer, Bratt, Holtz line. Ooh. Yeah, baby. Or how about this? Power play. One defenseman, and you put Mercer, Bratt, Holtz, and Janssen together. Wouldn't that be something? You know what? I think Kuokkanen, in my opinion, should be the man out to make room for Alexander the Great, Alexander Holtz, 7th overall pick in the 2020 draft. It would be nice if he played on the line with Dawson Mercer, also a 2020 NHL draftee, if that's what you call him. 18th overall pick. Making Tom Fitzgerald look really good. Oh, boy. I mean, Alexander Holtz against the Kings. Big city, big bright lights. Would be interesting. We'll have coverage game day live 1 hour prior to puck drop. Vinny Parisi and I. And afterwards, Scotty from SiriusXM Liquid Metal also getting out of his Beverly Hills estate home, going to the game, Staples Center. If you want to meet up with Scotty, let us know. He's wearing his Jack Hughes retro jersey. He will be there, but he'll also be doing Devils After Dark in the parking lot afterwards as we cover the Devils here on the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network. Let Holtz wear the number 8, says Mike Rossi. Nah, I like number 10. 10's been my favorite number. I respectfully disagree, Mike Rossi. You know I love you. Happy Devils Thursday. Let's see. I imagine Student H might sit at first. But you still need your fourth liners. You still need the fourth liners. Where's the next meetup? Outside of Taj Lounge 973. Says Rocco. February 9th, Devils Panthers at Prudential Center. I'll be there for pregame, game day live with Vinny Parisi. Well, actually, I may not be with Vinny Parisi. He might have a scheduling conflict. So I'll put it out there. Anybody that wants to come on the podcast, want to chill out, I'm only allowing one person. Put on the headphone with me. We'll talk puck. We'll talk about the Devils. Hopefully we're talking about how they beat up on the Kings and the Sharks out in the West Coast. Yeah. Brian asked, well, what's up with Mason Gearston? I don't know. What's up with him? He's a fourth liner. Can't play defense. Can't play forward. Gives the Devils some beef, some versatility. But what I want to know is what's going on with Dougie Hamilton. It's going to be a secret. A secret. Let's look on Hockey Buzz. See if anybody's commented. Some of the comments are so negative. Let's see here. Guy has been killing it in Utica, says Marty's better 88. Now we got to ruin him. Hope he plays with Heischer. Stop with the negativity. Negative, I just can't stand negative Devils fans. Okay? But I'll tell you one thing. One thing we learned. One of our own recently passed away, Dancing Earl. Anybody that's ever encountered Dancing Earl, a very positive man, a very wise man. Those that did talk to him outside of dancing and devil stuff. And we should carry on his legacy within ourselves to be a little bit more positive, and not only that, be nicer to people. Be nicer to people around you. Because I'll tell you what, paying it forward and being nice to other people, what goes around comes around. And right now, what I want coming around is the Stanley Cup, which, by the way, speaking of Stanley Cup, I'm glad they scraped off or they X'd out that person's name from 2010. And I'm not going to mention his name because he's a jerk. He's disgusting. And that's all I have to say about that. And I hope they do more. They better do more. You better get this right. And to Gary Bettman, I respectfully disagree how you're handling this. This is about sexual assault. Act like a human. Stop acting like a lawyer. Anyway, what do I know? I'm just a Devils fan. Just a hockey fan, just a Devils fan. Brian says, this is my first season following and watching hockey overall. Let's go Devils. Brian, welcome to the Let's Go Devils podcast family. and the New Jersey Devils family. We like to breed and make more Devils fans around the world. Rocco says, can't agree more. Absolutely, Rocco. Thank you. Thank you. Again, we can always agree to disagree, but honestly, when it comes to this story about Gary Bettman, the way he's been handling it, you got to get it right, because if you don't get it right, it's going to hang over the sport's head forever. Get it right. Look at past, I'm going off topic here, but go look at past issues with Penn State, with Larry Nassar, that jerk at Michigan State. Look at all the mistakes with USA Gymnastics, and it's still happening. They still don't have it right. But look at what happened in the NBA. Adam Silver and Donald Sterling, when all those racist remarks came out, he basically forced a sale, and that's what should be happening here. I'm sorry, but that's the way it should be. Because if you don't do something now, and I know I'm going off topic here because we're celebrating Alexander Holtz and talking about Scott Wedgewood, but this is important. And I'm almost at the point right now where I just don't want to shut up about this. It's hard to see that the favorite sport we love, hockey, is just screwing it up so badly. They don't realize how significant this situation is. This is not something that's going to go away in 2 years, okay? You got to take the Penn State route. You got to admit fault. You got to pay a big price and punishment. And then you have to be the solution to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen to anybody, not only in the NHL, man or woman, okay, anywhere. And it starts right now. And you know what? Mike Rossi says, if I was NHL commissioner, I would have taken them off the cup, years, all that. You know what? That should be on the table for discussion. You know, I don't have the solutions, you know, to that situation. But it was a day of reckoning, and listening to that conference call. And I almost did an episode 121. I swear to you, I wanted to just go on a rant. But I decided not to do the podcast because I needed to take that venom and harness that negative energy and think about what I should say on this podcast, because this is not about jabbing Gary Bettman like how Alan Walsh, the hockey agent, has been, which I find hilarious. It's about finding a solution and being part of that solution so these disgusting acts never will happen again. It is worth fighting for. It's worth speaking up. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And Kyle Beach is now starting, for the first time, being able to heal. 10 years too late. Matter of fact, it shouldn't even happen. These things shouldn't even happen. Also, just to add to the mix to your drive here, now we're in bonus time. Off topic, but yeah, Mike Ruff, thank you. Forgot. Jack Eichel got traded today. Big day in the NHL. The Vegas Golden Knights pull it off. They don't care if he has that surgery that he wants. Buffalo, you know, I read up. It's funny. I actually read up what that surgery was about. And basically, there's two types of surgeries, I guess, for a herniated disc. There's one's a more conventional fusion part. And then there's this one where no NHL player has ever had. Possible risks to it, where the short-term benefits are great, but long-term is not. But it's all debatable. But the Sabres don't want to do that. But then again, there's pros and cons to both surgeries, as I read. And here are my thoughts on that situation. Coincidentally, A good friend of mine, this is really going off topic. A good friend of mine, you know that artificial disc that he wants? That was his startup company about 22, 25 years ago that made that artificial disc. And I know a little bit about that surgery that Jack Eichel wants. And I have to tell you, this is, again, I'm not a doctor, nor am I claiming anything, but I've spoken to 3 people that have had that surgery. Nothing but rave reviews about it. Long-term effects, who knows? They're not NHL players, the people I've talked to about that surgery, but rave reviews about it. And the recovery time is much, much better than the conventional route. I'm not saying that the Buffalo Sabres, their concerns are not valid. What I'm saying is, hey, you know what? I know something a little bit about that. But congratulations to Jack Eichel. He gets his surgery he wants. He's going to a new place. Maybe the taxes are better in Nevada. I don't know. And also, hey, you know what? Mike Rossi said about the slew ban. Yeah, PK Subban getting fined, what, 15 grand? Seems like we should rename him Jack Tripper because it seems like he's tripping everybody. I know Ryan Reeves will, laugh at what I've just said. But why is that? Why all of a sudden is PK Subban tripping people? I mean, has he always played like that, or are we just noticing right now? Has he gotten himself slower? Because he's got them all top heavy with, all those workout videos. He's just all muscle, but no flexibility where he can't keep up with the players. I don't know. I'm just speaking my mind today. Wow, this is an extended version of the Woo Report, normally 10 minutes, giving you about 30 minutes of content of random NHL topics. But maybe I should be doing this more because I know I talk to you, the fans. Everybody watches the live feed, but if they can't watch, they catch it on the on-demand audio feed in the car. Drive time home. Yeah, because he's old and slow, says Mike Ruff. Probably. But PK is PK. He's a likable guy. I kind of like him. The game versus Ducks really hurt. Brian Pena. Hey, I think it was Brian that said he just became a Devils fan this year. Well, let me tell you something. Stick around, Brian. Stick around, Brian. Or no, it was somebody else. Doesn't matter. I think it was actually Bold DeGia. Yeah, stick around. The Devils are going to be good for a decade. They just need to get their shenanigans in order. Mainly their penalty kill. And that's all I have to say. NY Davey, just an idea. Maybe you should add a memorabilia card collecting segment. Hey, you know what? I could sell, just like this. Look at that Marty Brodeur card back there, huh? One of a kind. They blew that up on St. Marty's Day when it's 5-5-2 game. Yeah, I was also thinking having live auction, raising money for the podcast so we could get our private jet. Things are getting expensive. And by the way, I am going down to Florida for the Devils Florida road trip, still planning the sunrise trip, but Tampa, outside of Amalie Arena, Thunder Alley, the Tampa Bay Lightning has let our podcast in with open arms to do live, game day live before the Devils take on the Tampa Bay Lightning November 20th. So if anybody is down in Florida, meow, come visit me. Nick Villano will be out there. Vinny Parisi will be beamed in from Chicago for Game Day Live. We made the announcement yesterday. Also, thank you to Arda Akal for coming on. State of Fan Address. Arda Akal from ESPN. His career is just taking off. The stock is high, and he remembers us because he was one of our first guests. Good friend of the podcast. Mike Ruff says, come to Vancouver. Ha, ha, ha. Well, you know what, Mike? I actually just got my passport renewed. I was afraid of that because it's like, oh, well, got to renew the passport. I even got the card, too. I got both the booklet and the card because New Jersey, DMV, hasn't figured out that real ID. I don't even know where to go for that. It's been going. I was like, you know what? I'll just carry a passport card. There you go. And then anytime I want to drive to Canada, the passport's already in my wallet. That's the way I see it. I don't think I'll ever drive to Mexico, but you never know. Never say never. But, hey, maybe I'll come to Vancouver. Speaking of Vancouver, I don't think Utica likes Vancouver anymore. They love the New Jersey Devils. They loved Alexander Holtz and the young kids there. But now Alexander Holtz is with the New Jersey Devils in California. Well, that concludes the Woo Report. Can't thank you enough for listening to me babble. I get criticized often on a place called hockeybuzz.com where I blog. Oh, negativity. If we want to start this winning again, stop the negativity. We got to have a little bit of fun here. The only thing we should not have fun is the no fun zone, which should be in front of the Devils goaltender. NFZ, baby. NFZ. But the fun zone is at Todd's Lounge 973. We'll be back there November 9th against the Panthers. Also want to thank all of you that have participated on this live podcast. It's going to be dropping in about 20 minutes for your afternoon drive. Drive safely. 10 and 2 on the wheel. It can be dangerous driving in New Jersey. It's really not the New Jerseyans. You know what? I actually think it's the out-of-staters that drive in New Jersey that blow my mind. You know, the guy or woman driving 55 miles an hour in the left lane and blocking in the passing lane. No, get over to the right lane. Let us through. Especially when all roads lead to Newark, New Jersey, a beautiful city where the New Jersey Devils play. All right, enough. I'm sure you've grown tired. Alexander Holtz recalled, joins the team. Scott Wedgewood claimed off of waivers. PK Subban had to pay a fine or many fines, whatever. Till next time, this is the Woo Report. Let's go, Devils.